Good day, my dear classmates all over the world, and welcome to another chess lesson. This lesson is a skip from the previous lesson because there are requests for me to discuss ladder checkmate or rook roller checkmate. This checkmating pattern is special to me because this is when I learned this checkmate pattern, it started my curiosity with chess. Because with this kind of pattern, you will be able to have a technique to finish your opponent. The problem with our beginners is that we don't know how to finish the game. Now, when I actually learned about the rook roller checkmate or the ladder checkmate, in that time I don't know what it's called, but I just call it the rook checkmates or the lagare move. Okay, in the Philippines, that's how they call it. um, I was able to have the first strategic plan in my game, wherein I capture all the opponent's pieces, and then after capturing all the opponent's pieces, I will do the ladder checkmate or the roller. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So a rook roller or like a ladder checkmate is done and performed by queen and rook or rook or rook. Okay, so you can do checkmates using these two pieces. So how do we do it? First, what we should do is to actually be aware of where the king is. Okay, right now the king is right here. And if you will notice, the rook is controlling the b file. This is the power of the rook. It can create invisible walls. It can create invisible walls. And also the queen is actually controlling this diagonal and controlling this file and also this. So so if you will imagine that this king is like a dog in a cage, then this cage is too big for this dog for us to trap it. So what we need to do is to make the cage smaller and smaller for the king. Now, if we attack the king like this and give a check. An attack to the king is what we call check. Okay? Now, this poor king could not actually move in this file because this file is being controlled by the rook. It has an invisible wall in it. So the only option for the king is to move to this file, D file. Now, we will be able to do it again. The same technique. Give a check with the rook. So alternately, we will be moving the queen and the rook to give attacks to the king. Now, if the king is right here, now if the king is right here, could the king move to c file? No. And if you will notice, the cage is becoming smaller and smaller for the black king. See, and the king moves here on e5. And then what do we do next? Now we will use the rook or the queen. Of course, the queen. The queen will make the king move to a square in the f file. And then after the rook goes to f1, the king could not move and the cage is becoming smaller and smaller. The queen will go to g2 and after putting this on h5, the king is checkmated. The king could not go anywhere. And the king is like a dog trapped in his own cage, cannot move at all. Okay, so that's how to catch the king using the ladder checkmate or the rook roller. Sometimes we don't have the luxury of having the queen on our side, so we use two rooks. Okay, so these two rooks would actually be doing ladder pattern again. See? Okay? The purpose of the ladder pattern is to make the wall smaller and smaller until it reaches the edge of the board. Now let's make it more uh one moment. Let me just get the position back. Okay, now let's make it more complicated. Okay, now let the king attack the rook. Okay, so here's what will black do. Okay, after you move here, instead of moving straight to d5, he will move diagonal to d4, and it's gonna come close and closer to our rook. And if the rook goes here, check. Now you will notice that the king moves to e3, and it's not safe for us to attack the rook. It's not safe for us to attack the king on e2 anymore, because if you give check on e2, it's not a safe square for our rook. So what we're going to do is to move to the other side of the board. From c2, we go up to c8. Now, if the king moves closer again, then we go to d7. We should not put the rooks on the same line because they would not be able to do the ladder pattern. Okay? And the king moves here. What do we do? This is tricky. Do we give a check? No, we don't give a check. What we do is we make a wall for the king. Okay? Instead of giving a check to f8, you just make a wall to e8. No, it's important. Now he's gonna come closer. And then this is the time you give a check because the king will move further down the board and will go here. And now again, you have to watch out. Okay, the king is now on h6 and your rook is going to give a check on h7 on the next move. Is that safe or not safe? Of course, it's not safe. So what you're going to do is you move to the other side of the board. And then if the king comes closer, should you give a check on h1? No, you shouldn't because the king will capture the rook on g8. So you move the rook to the other side of the board, and then the king will be trapped at this part of the board. Now, let's make another illustration on a different point of view. You can do this sideways, downways, upways, whatever it is, okay? The key here, or the main thing here, is that you are the one controlling the king. You are the one controlling the king by putting walls and boundaries to your opponent's king. See? Now, what do? We have a wall in front of the king, so we just make the king move further down the board. It's easier if you have the queen, because even if he does this trick, he would not come close ever. Okay, how about this? What do we do? Okay, there are ways, okay? Here, okay, but in order for us to just be sure and not get confused with other concept, I advise you to go to the other side of the board, and then if rook comes here, king comes here, and then here, and then there is a checkmate. See, let's have another view. Okay, we can also do this. Okay, this is the wall. Okay, king moves up, queen here, king comes closer. Okay, here, what do we do next? We do like this on the other side of the board. And if the king goes here, what do we do now? Oh, this is tricky. Okay, do we give a check? No, we don't give a check. We make a wall. Okay, and after that, okay, the pattern could also look like this as well. Or I don't mind you going here, check, and then after that, you go here, check. Okay, so the most important part or the most important thing is that you should be able to checkmate the king. Okay? Now, here is another pattern, or here's another view. See, I will show you. I can control the king going here, even if the position is like this. Okay, so what do I need to do? We need to create a wall. Now, the king cannot come here. See, this rook is attacking, or this file and this one. So what he can do is the only choices that he has is this, and this. If he goes here, what do? You make a wall again. Okay, so it's important. Okay, to make a wall. If it goes like this, now you go rook rolling. Okay, if it goes here, you go to the other side of the board. If it goes here, you go to the other side of the board, and it goes here, check, and then like this. This is how the rook rolls and wins the game. How about this? Okay, this is again tricky. What do? Of course, we make sure that there is a wall first before we make an attack. Wall. Okay, comes in. Okay, you don't have to be together. Sometimes you can be just like here. And then if the king comes here, you just go at the other side of the board. And then the king's coming. What if the king goes here? What do? We make a wall again. And then after that, king comes here, check, and then checkmate once again. Okay. You can practice this. You can practice this on leeches.org. You go to um, learn and then practice. Let's see if I can show you. Let's see if I can show you practice checkmates. Okay. Is it clear? Yes, it is clear. Okay. So there are patterns, there are activities in leeches where you can also do this. You go to the learn tab, and then after going to the learn tab, we go to um, practice chess basics. Okay. So that's it for today, and thank you so much for watching my video. I hope it helped you and you learned. Goodbye, classmates, and see you again on the next video.